Rain poured down like the sky itself was crying. In a small, broken house at the end of a narrow alley, a faint cry of a little girl echoed through the night. Her tiny hands clutched her mother's dress, her eyes pleading for love that never came. But the woman only shouted, "Get away from me, Mira, you're useless. I wanted a son, not another burden." The little girl froze. Her fragile heart cracked as thunder rolled outside. She was only 7 years old, yet she understood every cruel word her mother said. The cruelty of a mother. Mira's father had left years ago. He wanted a son too, and when his wife gave birth to another girl, he never came home again. Her mother, Sushma, carried that bitterness like poison. Every day she reminded Mira that she was unwanted, that her birth had brought misfortune. If Mira dropped a plate, she was slapped. If she asked for food, she was yelled at. If she tried to hug her mother, she was pushed away. But even after all that, Mira loved her mother deeply. She believed with all her innocent heart that maybe one day her mother would smile at her and say, "I love you too." She waited for that day every night before falling asleep. But that day never came. Thrown into the streets. One evening, as the sunset turned the sky red, Sushma's voice echoed from the house again. "I'm getting married," she shouted, "and my new husband doesn't want you here. He wants a clean start with a son when I give him one." Mira blinked in confusion. "But Mama, where will I go?" "Anywhere but here," her mother replied coldly. She grabbed Mira's small hand, pulled her out of the house, and threw a torn bag beside her. It had one piece of bread, an old blanket, and a broken doll, the only toy she ever had. Then the door slammed shut. The rain began again. Mira stood there shivering, her little feet covered in mud. She knocked on the door again and again. "Mama, please open. I'll be good. I'll be quiet." But no one answered. That night she curled up beside the garbage cans, clutching her doll, whispering to it like a friend. "It's okay, Dolly. We'll be fine, right?" The cold streets. The next morning she walked barefoot through the streets, hungry, cold, weak. People passed by, some staring, some pretending not to see her. She tried asking for food outside a bakery, but the owner shouted, "Go away, you beggar." Days passed. Her face became pale, her lips cracked, and her small body trembled from hunger. But even in her suffering, she would smile at stray dogs and share the crumbs she found. One day, a group of boys laughed and threw stones at her. "Look, the dirty beggar girl," they yelled. Mira ran until she found a corner behind a grocery shop and cried quietly, holding her doll tight. She whispered, "Mama said I was bad. Maybe she's right." Her voice faded into the evening wind. A stranger stops his car. At that same moment, a black luxury car stopped near the market. A man stepped out, tall, calm, dressed in a simple suit. His name was Raj Malhotra, a successful businessman known for his wealth and loneliness. He had lost his wife and child in an accident 5 years ago. Since then, his heart had been empty. As he walked to the store, he noticed something: a small girl sitting by the wall, hugging a doll, her eyes filled with sadness that no child should ever know. He stopped. "Hey, little one," he said softly, "what are you doing here all alone?" Mira looked up frightened. "I'm waiting for my mama." The man knelt beside her. "Where is your mama?" "She told me to wait, but she didn't come back." Raj's throat tightened. He saw bruises on her arms, torn clothes, and bare feet. He took off his coat and wrapped it around her. "Come with me," he said gently. "You look cold. I'll get you something to eat." The warm meal. For the first time in days, Mira sat at a table in a small restaurant. She watched in awe as plates of food were placed in front of her: rice, lentils, bread, and warm milk. "Eat beta," Raj said. At first she hesitated. Then slowly she began to eat, her small hands shaking. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "Thank you." Raj smiled. You have a name. Mira, she said softly, and this is Dolly. Raj smiled faintly. Nice to meet you, Mira and Dolly. That day, something changed in both of them. The little girl found a protector, and the lonely man found a reason to smile again. A home once more. Raj couldn't stop thinking about her. That night, he made a decision. The next morning, he visited the local shelter to find out more. No one had reported a missing child named Mira. He looked at her and said, "Would you like to stay with me for a while?" Mira blinked in disbelief. "At your house?" He nodded, "Only if you want to." For the first time in her life, she smiled, a real, innocent smile. Raj took her to his big house. The servants were shocked. "Sir, who is this child?" Raj replied calmly, "My guest." He showed her a room with soft blankets, toys, and a bed big enough for her to roll around in. She touched the pillow like it was treasure. "This is for me." "Yes," Raj said with a smile. That night when he checked on her, Mira was already asleep, holding her doll, a small smile on her face, whispering, "Thank you, Papa." He froze at that word, his eyes filled with tears. He hadn't heard anyone call him that in years. The past returns. Weeks passed. Mira went to school, learned to read and write, and brought laughter back into the mansion. Raj would return from meetings to find her waiting at the gate, holding her doll. But one day, Raj received an unexpected visit from Sushma, Mira's mother. She had seen Mira on television during a charity event Raj sponsored. Seeing her daughter well-dressed and loved, greed filled her heart. "That's my daughter," she said proudly, showing up at Raj's house. "You kidnapped her, I want her back." Mira, hearing her voice, ran to Raj and hid behind him. "Papa, don't let her take me," she cried. Raj stood firm. "You abandoned her. I have witnesses and reports from the shelter. She is safe here and you will not hurt her again." Sushma tried to argue, but the law sided with Raj. She left cursing, realizing her lies were useless now. A father's love. Years passed. Mira grew into a confident young girl, kind, smart, and brave. She often said, "Papa, you found me when no one else cared. You gave me a life. One day I'll make you proud." Raj would smile and reply, "You already have my daughter." But one night, Mira found an old photo of Raj's lost family. She hugged him and said, "Papa, maybe God took your daughter so you could find me." Tears filled his eyes. He hugged her close. "Maybe he did," he whispered. The reunion. Years later, Mira became a doctor, helping orphaned children and poor families. Her story spread everywhere. The girl who was thrown out for being a daughter but rose to heal others. One day, at her free clinic, an old woman came for treatment. Her clothes were torn, her eyes tired. It was Sushma, her mother. For a moment, silence filled the room. Sushma cried, "Mira, I'm sorry I was blind. Please forgive me." Mira took her mother's hand and said softly, "I forgave you long ago, because if you hadn't left me, I'd never have met the man who taught me what real love is." The message. Mira's story became a symbol of faith and forgiveness, proof that being born a girl is not a curse but a blessing. Her kindness turned pain into power and rejection into redemption. Moral. Cherry blossom, even when life throws you away, remember, your worth is not defined by who rejects you, but by who sees your value when no one else does. Cherry blossom. Movie camera, if this story touched your heart, tell us in the comments below. Speech balloon, what did you feel when Mira forgave her mother? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel Kindness Quest, where stories of love, humanity, and hope come alive every week.